market to those people because you already know them. You already know that they're interested to know about your brand. So what we can actually do for example in Shopify is that there would be like add to cart functionalities, right? So what will happen is that if they add to cart or add it to basket but they did not end up checking out, you can actually remarket to those people. Like literally knock into their emails or like on their Facebook, on their Instagram. Yeah, and then and the message. The good thing is that the message can actually be customized based on based on their behavior on your site. Say for example that you already knew that they looked for a certain product, you could actually remarket this certain product to them, reminding them that they actually were interested before they can actually purchase. Like the paid digital theory actually shows that only 98% of the people who first visited the site would actually buy the product. So only 2% of the people who went to your website, who viewed your products, would actually purchase the first time. So it's good to remarket because you can actually target those 98% of people who doesn't. Alright. And then the next bit would be to always report and optimize. So Shopify has like the Shopify Analytics, which would be the basic one. But you can actually also integrate your Google Analytics to Shopify. So this would be good to know like how your users behave at the website. Like where do they actually spend more time? Where are the gaps and things like that? And the advanced thing would be like integrating this all and using the Google Data Studio dashboard, which allows you to see real time what's happening on your site, which would also be good. So that's it actually. That's my 4 key tips. But actually I have 5. The first one would always be to map your customer journey, like I've said. It's always a main key thing in marketing. Like you wouldn't really be able to understand who your real audience is until you've mapped that journey. Like you've actually asked like the salesperson what are their usual questions. Like where are the gaps and things like that. Like what hinders them on your website to actually make that purchase. Right, and then yeah, the second thing would be connect to the right channels. Third thing would bid the in-store experience or try to replicate it if you can't beat it. Remarket to your audience and always report and optimize. So that's my 5 key tips in marketing using the Shopify platform. Yeah, so thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Erica. That was really good. And now we've got a developing genius who's going to answer all your most difficult questions. So Richard of Devote Digital, he's a senior Shopify developer. He'll now be explaining to you Shopify from a developer's perspective. So let's welcome Richard to the stage.
Thank you very much, Brendan, for making me look like a genius, but I'm not. Okay, so welcome everyone to Shopify Meetup Manila. I'm Richard Dean Espelarga. I'm a senior Shopify developer for Devote Digital. Quick introduction. I've been doing web development for 8 years now. The first website I started was way back when I was in high school. It's just a side project. And then it started from there. And then I'm mainly a WordPress developer. Anyone does WordPress here? Good. So, just wanted to keep it quick. Okay. So one of the advantages, actually it's just not one. There's Shopify has a lot of advantages versus other content management system website, specifically like WordPress or Magento. So one of the advantages of Shopify is it has zero setup and maintenance. You can sleep better at night. Once you set it up, it's like that. You're not going to pay monthly for hosting. You're not going to pay for anything else except for the domain, of course. But once you set it up, it's all good. It would run by itself. You could leave it alone. No client would call you in the middle of the night saying that, hey, my shop is down, my store is down. Which is most of us developers do is maintaining them and also making sure that they run smoothly and properly. So, next one would be no more weekly backups and monthly backups. This is a pain in the ass for us. Backing up everything for other CMS website, it takes like 15 minutes to an hour. And you're going to do it twice a month, sometimes once a week. So, and the next one would be 99% server uptime. Shopify, they have a URL where you can check their servers for. It's status.shopify.com. And most of the time, if you're going to experience an issue, like after 5 minutes, it's already good. So that's why it still has a 0.1% of downtime. So of course, nothing's perfect. So next one would be secured servers from attacks. Shopify has a very good bounty system here. Like if you found any code that is malicious, if you're going to see, if you find something that you think that could break the whole thing, just report it to them, and there's going to be monetary value to be rewarded to you. It ranges from 500 USD up to 25,000 USD. And then the next one would be, it has a very fast response time. So that is an average of less than 50 millisecond response time, which in a marketing standpoint, since online audience has a very short attention span, having a good response time would be beneficial for you. I read an article online that states that every 3 seconds that the website takes longer for it to load, you get 10% minus on your conversion rate, which is a big thing. Next one would be hassle-free checkout. You don't have to set up anything for the checkout. Shopify does it by itself. You don't have to create PayPal APIs anymore. So that's a thing in the past. Since Shopify handles all of it, and also it reports fraudulent checkouts for you. So you could get a heads up if this order is kind of fraudulent, but you still have to do your own research for the customer. Next one would be extensive online documentation. Everything that Shopify does, what is Shopify, all of its features is posted online. And it's very clear to understand. It's translated to multiple languages like Chinese, Japanese, and so on and so forth. So the next one would be 24/7 experienced tech support team. Like for me, the last thing I would like to do is call someone in Shopify. If I could fix it myself, I would, but sometimes I cannot. So what I do is I phone them, and then they would explain to me, okay, this is how you should do it instead of this. So they're very friendly, they're very helpful, and they're very much experienced in what they do. Next one would be the difference in syntax. Shopify, it's built, the syntax is called Liquid, and other CMS, PHP for example, on this one. So, as you can see, there's a lot of similarities in how Shopify, Liquid, and PHP flow is like basically, if you know how to do Shopify flows, if you know how to do PHP flows, you know how to do Liquid flows. The difference would be in syntax. Syntax is not that different. Like, of course, PHP, this is it, and Shopify in Liquid, is this. So, as you can see, it's going to be opened by curly brace, followed by %sign, and then followed by the actual loop that your actual if statement that you're going to do, and then closed by a curly brace, and then a %sign before it. Next one would be for loops. So as you can see, it's similar in syntax. It's opened by a curly brace and then followed by a %sign. And then this is already your for loop, for item in collection. And this is one on your PHP. So as you can see, if you know for loops on PHP, you know for loops on Liquid. Next one would be Shopify features. Shopify has this partners dashboard. So this would be your playground. This is what you're going to do your testing. This is what you're going to use for team building. And the good thing about it is 100% free. If you want to get into Shopify development, you don't have to pay their monthly fee for it. You just go to Partners Dashboard, the URL is down here, and then you could do anything you want. So that could be app development, that could be team development. If you're just curious about Shopify, just sign up, and then you would see that it is 100% free, and also it's a fully functional Shopify store for you. And one of the good thing about Shopify Partners Dashboard is they gave you 20% of the annual, not actually annual, the monthly revenue of the stores that's going to build. For example, the current store is paying $20 for 2 Shopify. You're going to earn 20% of that $20. Next one, Shopify REST API. Since REST API is very popular and Shopify supports it natively, like once they release Shopify, it already has different API endpoints to it. So couple of the available endpoints for Shopify are products, orders, and customers. And then here's a real world scenario. Most of what I do in like the past 2 years are migrating from WordPress to Shopify. So for example, if a WordPress website has 1,000 products, I'm not going to do it manually. That's stupid. I'm sorry. And then the next, what you're going to do is you're going to do a GET request here in a Shopify endpoint. In a WordPress endpoint. You're going to get all the products, and then you're going to process it. Processing it, you could use PHP, you could use JavaScript, you could use anything that you want. You could use C# even. And then you're going to do a post request to this endpoint, the products.json endpoint. So it's very straightforward. Documentation, like what I said, is very extensive online. So just read it up, understand it. It's not difficult to do it. Next would be development tools. Shopify has its own development tools. It's called Shopify Theme Kit. It's like, has anybody coded in like Node.js here? Anyone? Okay. So it's a CLI, like a command line interface for Shopify. So you could download your current theme, and then do the edits on your local computer. You don't have to go to the back end of Shopify, to the actual storefront to do your edits. You could download all your files, all your working files, and then edit as is. Once you hit save, it would automatically upload to the Shopify server. No more FTP, no more doing local servers. So it saves a lot of time, and then it does it for you. And it also works on Windows and Linux and Mac. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thanks, thanks, Richard. And we've actually got our surprise third guest. He's actually made it stuck in traffic, which you'd never think would happen in Manila. So Mike is here, and he'll now be taking us through just quickly the retailer's perspective on Shopify. So if I know there's a lot of people in here who are wanting to set up their store. So Mike's got lots of information for you on that. So we'll quickly jump to him, and he'll take you from there. So let's welcome Mike.
Guys, good afternoon. Okay lang ba magsalita ng Tagalog? Yeah. But I'm also gonna explain it in English also. Okay. So I'm gonna talk about the pros and cons of Shopify for local Philippine businesses. About me, I work in the e-commerce development industry since 2007. So lahat na ng e-commerce platform I've already tried. Who has tried the BigCommerce platform? Previously, self-hosted pa yung BigCommerce. Then they also transitioned to software as a service. And I'm the first Shopify expert in the Philippines. And I've had clients from small businesses to large corporations. So here are some companies that are using Shopify here in the Philippines. Some of them I think very common sa inyo. Si Toby's, Mandawi Foam, they're selling furniture right now. Previously, they're using, I think, Magento, but then they transitioned to Shopify. Aperitif, if you know Aperitif, they're very popular on Instagram. They like do graze boxes, and they now have a shop in Zamora. Boozy.ph, if you like to drink, then you can order from them, and they will deliver within 1 hour. Fit Legend, a fitness company, they sell fitness apparel here in the Philippines. Shop Rent Gala, I've worked with them and set up their online rental store. And also, I love BDJ. I think it's pretty popular with women. They're selling planners. And then Hair Manila selling premium hair products here. Then here are some of the newer companies who are switching now to Shopify. So one of them is Bench Fix Salon. They're planning to sell their hair care products online, and right now they're just using WordPress. So yeah, I'm just helping them out with that. And then Waking Philippines, they're a fitness brand also here in the Philippines. And then Titan Super Tools, they previously is selling exclusively on Lazada, but they're having problems right now with Lazada. That's why they're trying to set up their own shop with Shopify. So I think a lot of this has already been covered, but yeah, I'll just reiterate that it's the pros of Shopify, especially for Philippine businesses. It's very easy to set up. So if you can operate a phone, you can set up a Shopify store. And there are a lot of templates already available for every kind of business. So you can just buy a theme, and you're all set up. Then there are also apps available to enhance the functionality. At the base of Shopify, it's already a very good platform, but there's just some functions that you'd like to add, of course, especially if you want to customize the customer experience, like adding some optional items or options for a product. Then you might need to use an app for that. And then it's also very secure and a reliable platform. Another pro is that it's very cheap here, especially for Philippine businesses. If na-check nyo siya from an US IP, or even just a couple of years ago, they're offering it in the Philippines for $29.99 a month. And I think just this year, binabaan nila to $13 or $12. So, very advantageous siya for Philippine businesses. And then there are a lot of payment options available already for the Philippine market. There's Dragon Pay, Paynamics. There's also the option for cash on delivery if you are going to work with Black Arrow or Ninja Van. And all the marketing channels are easy to integrate. I think na-explain na kanina na this one's the organic for the SEO. Madali lang siya i-set up. for product, madali set up yung metadata.